Here's the other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something. The poor will be with you always, and there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication. Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself.
2 years after my husband and I were married, we decided that we wanted to purchase our first home. We found the cutest 4-bedroom home and decided to go to the mortgage company and apply. The bank approved us, but for only 80% of the mortgage. We did not have 20% to put down. We had no choice but to wait and save a little bit more. On December the 31st, 1999, we went to watch night service at church. At the end of service, a woman came up to me, handed me a $100 check, and told me that God had told her to give this to me. She also said that God told her to tell me not to cash the check until January the 31st. Fast forward to January the 31st, year 2000, I was on lunch break and I remembered I had a check that I was now able to cash. So I went to the bank and cashed it. And just as I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to use the money responsibly or just splurge and buy me a new outfit, God said, no, I need for you to give this to, and he named the name of a woman who I work with. I had to fight my flesh, and I decided to go ahead and just be obedient. When I got back to work, I went upstairs to give it to her. When I got upstairs, she wasn't at her desk, so I put the money in an envelope and I left her a note saying, God told me to give you this. I went back downstairs to my office. A little while later, she called me crying, thanking me. She said she knew that it was nobody but God because she had a bill that was due that day and she was about $80 short and she did not know how she was going to pay it. If it was not paid that day, they were going to cut off her services. 2 weeks later, my husband and I received a phone call from a custom home builder congratulating us. They said that we had been approved for a construction loan. Problem: we never applied for a construction loan. The only loan we applied for was for the home that we wanted back in 1999. Long story short, 9 months later, we moved into a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home on an acre corner lot, brand spanking new. It is unbiblical to say that God won't bless you just because you bless someone who cannot give back to you in that moment. In all honesty, there was a time when people were blessing us when we couldn't afford to give back. Every seed sown through Christ reaps a harvest. Every seed. The Bible also tells us that if you seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all its righteousness, all these things will be added unto us. Give, and it shall come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over, no disclaimers. And it doesn't matter if the person that you give to is rich or poor. Your blessings come through your obedience and your submission to God. Stand on Bible, saints.